UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. This is another episode of UFO Disclosure. I am your intrepid host, and we'll get into this new headline. Is it another rung on the ladder of disclosure? I'm debating because it's very telling in my opinion. Anyway, we'll get into that, but first a word from our trusted sponsor. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I recently saw a video he made and I was shocked. The guy's in his 80s and still kicking butt and working out and staying active. Got to stop right there. Folks, I was at a gym right after the fire in 2018. So we moved into Thousand Oaks and I was at the Y. And I walk in, all the weight stuff was in a trailer. And I walk in, it was this guy, old guy, working out, and I didn't recognize him. And I was following him, and he was lifting weights that I could barely budge. I'm going, my gosh, who is this guy? And he's reading a script. And so we're just the two of us in this little gym, and I go, hey, man, hope you get the part. And he just kind of looks at me and laughs. And when I walk out to my car after I'm on my workout, I realize, oh my gosh, that was Chuck Norris. Okay, but I digress. What's even more shocking is Chuck Norris is stronger. He can work out longer, and he even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels better, like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/LA. I'll say it again, folks. chuckdefense.com/LA, or by clicking in the link below this video. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/LA, and click on the link in the description below to watch the video now. Just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 81 years old, and yet has more energy than I do. He discovered he could create dynamic changes to his health simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. Folks, check it out. Watch his method by clicking the link in the description box below. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/LA. Remember, folks, that story I told you about the little trailer gym that I was in with Chuck Norris, that's true. He was lifting weights that were heavier than I can lift. Check it out. Once again, the website, chuckdefense.com/LA. Check out the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you have not subscribed yet, hit the little subscribe button down below. So the headlines here is UFO Whistleblower says he's being threatened as Congressman warns protections are a joke. Luis Elizondo, former head of Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, short for ATIP, said he's faced threats as he pushes for UFO transparency. UFO whistleblowers are being threatened. The protections currently in place are a joke, a congressman told Fox News Digital. Luis Elizondo was the head of a secretive Pentagon unit that studied UFOs, and there have been threats against him and several other whistleblowers, David Grush for one, formerly associated with the UAP, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, efforts for the U.S. government. I would like to make this perfectly clear to the American people. I am not prone to accidents. I am not suicidal. I am not abusing drugs. I am not engaged in any illicit activities. If something happens to me or my family members in the future, you will know what happened. I have basically stated the same thing. You guys know that watch my channel. I was threatened in 2016 by someone from the deep state because of our work on the Kandahar Giant. He threatened me 3 different ways. The first one was this, that when they came to arrest me for who knows what, they would find kiddie porn on my cell phone. What do you do with that? The second one, my car would have a sudden accident. The third one of my children would go missing and never be found again. Luis Elizondo is basically stating the same thing, and this is how the game is played. So my heart goes out to Luis Elizondo and the others who have come forward trying to open this up. Here's what I think is going to happen, and some of you already know that when they get ready, when they get the go to reveal themselves, they will reveal themselves. And all the hand-wringing and poo-pooing and name-calling, it's not going to do anything. When we get mile-wide craft over different cities on this planet, that's the game changer. So what I do find interesting it's not going away, is it? And in fact, it's heating up. Let's continue. Representative Tim Burchett, Tennessee, and we've reached out to him with one of his constituents, whatever, to try to talk to him about it. We basically sent them private links to our Roswell film. Haven't heard a word, and I get that. He's very busy. He's isolated, probably very out of touch with what's really going on. If you hear this, or your daughter hears this, or anyone in your family might be watching this, we are the only Christian filmmaking organization. Spiral of Life is our umbrella. That's the name of our organization. We have 10 films in the UFO series, 10 films, all from a Christian perspective. This is the coming great deception that I have warned about literally for decades. Okay, this is what we're looking at. So Burkett says there is whistleblower protection, but it's a joke, and we know it's a joke. The congressman in Elizondo had dinner around the time Elizondo made it known he was being threatened. He didn't detail what the threats were or who made them, but Burkett expressed his anger and said he's alarmed. So let's continue. Luis Elizondo is a dear friend of mine, and I take any threat against anyone seriously, especially against friends and somebody who has given so much to this country and to this issue, UFOs, Burkett said. So I'm very aware of it, and I'm very much alarmed. I'm pursuing every avenue I can to get to the bottom of it. The threats aimed at Elizondo and UFO whistleblowers aren't new, but are the latest in a disturbing trend. Last July, David Grush, this is in my forthcoming book, The Rungs on the Ladder of Disclosure. By the way, I have an announcement to make. I'll get to that in just a second. Last July, David Grush testified in front of Congress that his life was threatened, and he was instructed to keep quiet about a secret government-run crashed UFO retrieval program. For those of us who have been in the field for decades now, this is nothing new. All the people that we've interviewed in our films, they all know something is going on. How many times do we have to hear it before things change, before we actually get transparency? So David Grush says, I can't get into the specifics in an open forum, but what I personally witnessed myself and my wife was very disturbing, said Grush, a former U.S. intelligence officer and Air Force veteran. I faced brutal, unfortunate tactics of retribution that he called administrative terrorism. Amazing. Elizondo was the former senior leader of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, ATIP, a shadow government program created from the ashes of the AAWSAP, Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Application Program. Veteran journalist George Knapp wrote in his testimony to Congress. So it goes on from there. That's basically what we need to know. There was an admission by the Energy Czar during one of this exchange between GOP lawmakers and this woman. This research included reviewing new cases and much older Project Blue Book cases, operating debriefing and investigatory teams, and proposals to set up laboratories to examine any recovered UFO materials. What's amazing about this is David Grush stood up in front of Congress, or was seated, and stated on the record that the United States government, your government, my government, has a group of individuals who are part of an advanced team to retrieve crashed UFOs. Now, when Representative Nancy Mace from South Carolina asked David Grush, in your opinion, were there bodies that were retrieved? He said, yes, we retrieved biologics. Mace follows up with the question, were these biologics human or non-human? David Grush looks right up at her and states on the record, non-human biologics. Folks, UFOs are real. There's a physicality to all this. Anyone who tells you that there's no physicality is selling you something or has no idea of what is really going on. There is absolutely a physicality to the UFO phenomenon. I'll be talking about it this week. Actually, on Saturday, I speak twice, and we took out the implant from Emil Jurek. That's physical. That was put there by someone. There's no entrance wound. He was taken from a very early age. Sperm is taken from the man, ovum is taken from the woman. It ties back into Daniel 2:43. Their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not cleave to them. Jim Williamson taught me this. The word cleave is the word that we get for marriage. Adam will leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. No cleaving, no marriage at all. In Daniel 2:43. They take what they want. Watch Karen's testimony. We interviewed her last week. It's just absolutely riveting. And if you want to do a deep dive, watch number 4 in our 10-part UFO series. It's on abductions. You can go to streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net. Watch it for yourself for a price of $4.99, less than a cup of coffee. Time to do your homework, folks. We're the only Christian ministry on the planet that has 10 films on UFOs. We've done a deep dive. I want to thank my business partner, Gil Zimmerman, for teaming up with me and making the films better. So this is the last 3, Roswell in the debris field, Roswell exoneration. This is 9 and 10. It's a 2-part set. What is the truth? And this week, by the way, I will be on Nino's show. I think you'll find that interesting. And I hope to see you in Colorado. Anyway, folks, UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. This is the coming Great Deception. It is biblically rooted, in my opinion. Many people disagree with that. That's fine. People can think what they want to think. But having been immersed in the phenomena and being on both sides of the aisle, once entrenched in New Age beliefs, and then at 30 years old becoming a born-again, spirit-filled Christian, I know the difference. I've been in both camps. I've been on both sides of the aisle. So I bring a very unique perspective. I know I'm boasting, but I do. And it's not that I do it. I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing. But the Lord has led me, and here we are. So the announcement I have is this. Last Tuesday, I signed a contract with Charisma, a publishing company, and I will be publishing the new book, the latest book, The Rungs of Disclosure, The Rungs of UFO Disclosure. We're still hashing out the title. The book is complete. My editor, Sonda Allison, is working on it. It'll be handed off probably in the next 10 days back over to Charisma. It'll be out in the fall. We will be selling it on our website as well. So we still have Under Spiral of Life, but Charisma is going to blast this thing out. And that's why we sign with them. It's time. The time is now. This is very important information. Christians need to understand what it is they're looking at. Thanks so much for watching, folks. Remember, you can go to streaming.lamarzulli.net. There are 30 films there, or go to our website, lamarzulli.com, and you can download the books. Some of them are Kindle, but you can buy the hard copies of DVDs, hard copies of books. Thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Remember, folks, UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away. This is the coming Great Deception.
What happens if a mile-wide craft shows up above Washington? Who's behind it?
Well, at some level, the government, the military, and the intelligence community.
It is a threat, and it's going to soon become a global threat, and it's going to require a global response.
The UFO phenomenon has become the great off-putting.
We're going to get disclosure accidentally.
An interesting time to be alive. We live in a time where literally the government told us these UFOs are real, we don't know what they are.
The question then is, who are they in contact with? Are they truly extraterrestrial? Has mankind been visited by inhuman entities?
What are your closing thoughts in regard to disclosure?
Floodgates are open, and all bets are off right now.
They're definitely conditioning the masses for some kind of revealing of technology.
We're being visited by extraterrestrials.
If you look at the late night talk hosts, when they're talking to all the presidents, and they always bring up the question, are you going to tell us anything? If you look at their faces, they know something.
Folks, the phenomenon is not going away. We go up, they show up. We go up, they come down. To warn of what we believe is the coming Great Deception.